Hey, fans of archival films. I've noticed in the comments that a lot of people really enjoy the films about the Chesapeake Bay that I put on our Nerds Make Media channel, so I found a real gem for you at the National Archives. I don't know if it's available elsewhere on the internet. It's called Watermen of the Chesapeake. It was created by the Department of Commerce in cooperation with Maryland and Virginia and the National Oceanic Atmosphere Administration, NOAA, one of those great agencies that's under threat right now. And you can see there they're talking about the history of Jamestown, and they also go to Williamsburg, Virginia. But they really do take a look at watermen, show them catching oysters, clams, crabs, fish, show them going to market with these things, show people cooking them. And at the end, they actually visit Chincoteague Island. I have my Chincoteague t-shirt on right here because I've spent a lot of time there in my life ever since I was little. They show a pony roundup. Unfortunately, in this film, they mention Jamestown and Williamsburg, and they even show some reenactors who seem to be African Americans in a rowboat, but they do not ever mention the word slavery. It's all about men. Women are only referred to, for the most part, as housewives. And the crowds are almost entirely white, even though I'm sure you know, if you're familiar with the area, a lot of watermen are black. But I still think it's a really interesting time capsule from 1980. So please enjoy this film. Tell us what you think about it. See there they show people working that are slaves, but they never mention the word slave. It's like slavery never existed. But it's still really interesting time capsule. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, if you recognize any people in the film, or if you yourself have done this kind of work. Let us know about it. Tell us some stories and share this video, and please subscribe to our channel. We almost have 1,000 subscribers and we want to reach that mark. So thanks for watching, and here is Watermen of the Chesapeake.
Unless you're up before the sun, you'll be tagged a late riser by the Watermen of the Chesapeake. Travel south. Follow the Atlantic coast of the United States. Look for an opening in the shoreline about where Maryland meets Virginia. This is the ocean gateway to Chesapeake Bay. An Indian flavor lingers in the names of the many rivers that flow into the bay. The Patuxent, Potomac, the Pungoteague, and Rappahannock. Others, like the James and York, were named by early English settlers. To understand the Bay Area, you must see it as the waterman does, with eyes sharp enough to spot the flick of a fish's tail on the water surface, muscles hardened by hauling tons of nets, fish, and shellfish, skin toughened by the weather. Men who value their daily independence and are proud of their heritage. The island of Jamestown in Virginia is reminiscent of the Watermen's heritage and the heritage of America. The first Watermen came to Jamestown in 1607. A little later, another English settlement was started in Maryland at St. Mary's City. Life at first was crude and difficult, but within a few years, the rugged existence of the early settlers gave way to the gracious living of colonial Williamsburg. This lovely old city has been restored as a living memorial of colonial days. Visitors from all over the country relive in dramatic pageantry the life of early Williamsburg. But gracious living came only with hard work, and there was work for all on land and water. Here in the Tidewater area, the settlers learned much from the Indians, who were accomplished fishermen in their own right. Then, as today, fish and shellfish were in great supply, but some of the methods of bringing them in have changed. In 1865, Maryland passed a conservation law, still in effect, prohibiting the use of power boats for dredging on natural oyster bars. When the wind dies down, a small dinghy with a powerful engine, appropriately called a push boat, is used to push the sailing dredge to and from the dredging grounds. The dredge itself is a sturdy device which is dragged across the oyster bed. Its teeth scrape the bed, turning up shells and oysters which are caught in the attached net. State conservation officers patrol the bay waters to give the oystermen a helping hand. Hand tonguing in any kind of weather is one of the oldest methods of harvesting oysters. To grow, oyster larvae attach themselves to old oyster shells. So the old shells are sorted out and thrown back. Small oysters too. That's the law, and the law makes sense. Conservation laws are rigidly enforced to ensure a supply of oysters for the future. The patent tongue uses the same principle as the hand tongue, but it's operated by a winch, enabling the oysterman to work faster and save himself a backache. As in hand tonguing, the small oysters and old shells are thrown back. Patent tongues are permitted in deeper waters. Many islands in the Bay Area, like Tangier and Smith, hardly seem touched by time. There aren't many places left in the world where hunting decoys are carved by hand. Traces of Old English accent can still be heard in the speech of the islanders. They take great pride in keeping their homes looking as ship-shape as their boats. There are many reminders of the watermen who long ago sailed the bay. Ways and traditions are handed down from father to son. The Chesapeake is a chief source of crabs on the Atlantic coast. A good crab fisherman wouldn't think of using anything but homemade crab pots. The pots are baited, and over the side they go. But the crab fisherman doesn't stand by and wait for the crabs to take his bait. He may set and pull as many as 100 pots a day. At the end of the day, the catch is brought to the buy boat. The buy boat is a unique middleman buying bay products from the watermen to sell to the buyers on land. To grow, a crab must shed its shell. Crabs approaching this shedding period are called peelers. To the experienced eye, a pink mark on the crab's last pair of legs indicates that it is a peeler. The peelers are placed in pens, where they're kept for a few days until they shed. With his hard shell gone, the soft crab brings the fisherman a premium price. Hard clams abound in the tidewater area, but the waterman looking for them is no exception to the rule that it takes work to earn a living from the bay. The hard clams are sorted for size and bagged before going to market. The soft clam, another member of the clam family, is a totally different type of Chesapeake Bay taste treat. Hydraulic dredges use jets of water to dislodge the soft clams from the sandy bottom. Clams can be brought up with rakes, dredged, or pulled out with just plain toes, the oldest method of all. Outdoor cooking is popular with the watermen and their families, as well as with summer visitors. Hard or soft, there is no shortage of clams here. Or crabs either. Soft-shell crabs sizzling over an open fire whet many an appetite. Hard-shell crabs, boiled in specially spiced water to bring out their delicate flavor, satisfy even the most hard-to-please gourmet. A perfect way to end a Sunday of rest before going back to work. And out of Reedville, Virginia, the next day's work is to go after menhaden. More menhaden are caught than any other fish, but most people know little about them because they never see menhaden sold at food counters. Instead, these fish are made into meal and oil and used for making poultry and cattle feed, paint, and hundreds of other products. Hopefully, menhaden may become a food of the future in the form of a fish protein concentrate, which will help feed many hungry people. Schools of menhaden are taken in a purse seine. These nets are set out from small boats to form a large circle around the fish. The lines are drawn in, trapping the menhaden. When the catch has been concentrated, a pump is used to lift the fish from the net to the hold. Large quantities of menhaden are taken in Virginia waters, but since menhaden multiply rapidly, there is little threat to this valuable fishery resource. Finfish are as important to the Bay Area as shellfish, and many methods are used to catch them. Nets work differently, even though they may look alike. Pound nets are set in the water much like a tennis net to catch herring, shad, and a large variety of other species. The fish swim along the net until they enter a trap at the end, where they're dipped out by the watermen. Part of the waterman's catch is shipped alive, part just refrigerated, and part processed, making life easier for the housewife. Bay products can be bought alive, freshly iced, frozen, breaded, canned, and smoked, ready for preparation in mouth-watering ways. Spiced hard-shell crabs are one of the many popular ready-to-serve Bay products. Many methods of refrigerated transportation are used to bring fresh Chesapeake Bay products to market. The market men, like the watermen, must be up long before dawn to speed the catch on its way. The early buyers have the greatest selection from which to make their choice. It doesn't take too long for the most popular varieties to be sold out. And before the sun is up, Chesapeake Bay products are on their way to stores, schools, restaurants, and homes all over the country. You don't have to be an expert chef to prepare an excellent meal. Just don't overcook fish and shellfish. They're quick and easy to prepare, and easy on your food budget, too. Because fishery products are so nutritious, they play an important part in school lunch programs. Helpful services and information are available from the Department of the Interior's Fish and Wildlife Service. The Bureau of Commercial Fisheries prepares recipes for housewives, gives advice on storage and displays to retailers, and provides information for all on how to lower food costs by taking advantage of bargain fishery products. Constant basic research in laboratories on the water and land is necessary to solve problems as they develop. The federal government and the governments of Virginia and Maryland, as well as the fishing industry, support research programs in order to learn more about the bay. There is still much to learn, and this requires comprehensive research. The chemical, physical, and biological data being gathered now will make the Chesapeake more useful to future generations as more and more people come to the Bay Area. And people are attracted to this area for many reasons. Hunters come during the hunting seasons. And anglers enjoy fishing in both salt and freshwater all year round. Here's proof that a fish story won't have to be told today. Vacationers are attracted to the Bay Area for its variety of activities, from water skiing to swimming and sunbathing. There's fun for all. Others are intrigued by the quaint atmosphere of old landmarks, like the Oxford Ferry that still makes its crossing on the Tread Avon River. The quaint is slowly giving way to the modern. With the completion of the Harbor Tunnel bypassing Baltimore, the Bay Bridge near Annapolis, and the bridge tunnel to replace the old Norfolk Ferry, a trip to the Tidewater area for many is even practical on a weekend. Sailing for sport has become as familiar a sight on the bay as are the many rugged fishing activities. Watermen and sailing enthusiasts share a common sailor's bond. Expert know-how is required to maintain the balance needed to keep racing sailboats moving at their fastest speed. But the speediest of all are the many powerboats that have become so popular. And racing is a favorite pastime for driver and spectator alike. The climax of the regatta is the award ceremony, where the victor receives his trophy from the Commodore and the Queen. It's hard to get away from the marine environment of the bay, and tourists love it. A hard crab derby is always an attraction. The crabs are lined up, and at a signal, they're off at a crawl on the wet runway. There goes the favorite now. The first crab over the end wins. And it's a fight all the way. A little upset is no problem. Over the side he goes, and is the champion crab for the day. A popular annual event is the Chesapeake Pony Run. Watermen turn cowboys to round up the shaggy ponies that run wild on Chesapeake Island. Legend has it that these wild ponies are descendants of Spanish war horses, wrecked off the coast hundreds of years ago. The ponies are coaxed across a stretch of water to the corral at Chesapeake, where they will be auctioned off to bring joy to many a youngster. A carnival comes to town to augment the festivities, which include a rodeo, Wild West style, staged by the teenagers. Some stay topside, while others go over the side. At the pony auction, a keen eye for horseflesh can help strike a good bargain. The proceeds from the auction are used for community improvements. The waterman may be considered ornery, stubborn, and cantankerous by outsiders, but this adds up to a pride of independence that he strives to keep. And by his very unique nature, he will manage to keep it and survive among as many of his old ways and traditions as possible. The Chesapeake Bay waterman will be as familiar and important a figure in the future of the bay as he has always been in the past.